The LG G3 has many things going for it, and it's one of my favorite smartphones ever. As time goes on though, things start to get better as newer devices are released. So how has the LG G3 held up to the new king of the hill? I'm Ben with iTechTriad, and let's find out in this video comparison with the Galaxy Note 4. Now, unlike some comparisons, I won't simply be telling you which phone is better than the other. Instead, I've picked 5 reasons why each is better than the other, so let's not delay any longer and let's talk about 5 reasons why the LG G3 is better than the Galaxy Note 4. First, let's go ahead and kick things off with the software. Now, LG hasn't always been the best with their software, usually giving us nothing more than a carbon copy of what Samsung is doing, but with their own flair. However, this year LG took what they had and made it so much better. Everything looks nice, and I've actually become a huge fan of their software. Everything feels well laid out and makes at least some level of sense. Sure, it's still a very heavy skin, but I have no issues using it. Samsung, on the other hand, is still Samsung. TouchWiz has been getting better every year, but it's still the same thing underneath, and that results in just a ton of lag and a lot of confusion. Next, let's talk about navigation. Now, back in 2011, Google introduced on-screen navigation to Android, and it's been set as the standard. Many OEMs have adopted it, including HTC, Motorola, Sony, and thankfully LG. Now, in fact, Samsung is basically the only OEM still including true physical buttons on their device. LG adopted an on-screen navigation on the G2 and improved their implementation on the G3. Not only does on-screen navigation make things easier to use, but allows for more flexibility. Sure, you're going to lose a little bit of screen space, but I think the sacrifice is worth it, especially because LG allows you to choose some of the buttons you see in your navigation tray to further improve and customize your experience, and that's something you simply can't do on the Galaxy Note 4. Next, let's talk about something that I find important on any smartphone, and that is the bezels. Now, the LG G3 has a pretty massive 5.5-inch display, and that's pretty big for most users, including me. I never thought I would have owned a 5.5-inch smartphone. However, the LG G3 does a really good job of making it not feel like you own a phone that big. In fact, the phone is only slightly bigger than the iPhone 6, which has a much smaller 4.7-inch display. And this is really thanks to those thin bezels. They are nearly not there. On the sides they are small, but even on the top and bottom, they are smaller than they are in most phones. On the Note 4, things aren't quite as good. The bezels aren't huge, but they aren't quite as razor thin either. This makes the phone just a bit harder to handle and makes one-handed use even less possible. Granted, it does have a bigger screen, but I feel like if the bezels were just that much smaller, it would really feel a lot better in the hand and be easier to manage. Now, unless you own an HTC One M7 or M8, your phone's speaker is probably pretty terrible. Most are quiet, lack good sound, and are just not all that good. Now, the LG G3's speaker is back mounted, which is definitely not a plus, but it's actually shockingly good. The speaker is pretty crisp and sounds okay, but it is incredibly loud. Volume on the G3 is great, and it really makes the experience that much better. Watching videos on the 5.5-inch screen is better when you don't need to use headphones all the time just to hear it. The Note 4, however, doesn't quite enjoy the same luxury. The speaker is also on the back, but it's nowhere near as loud or as good. Now, as I mentioned, the LG G3 has a 5.5-inch display and the Note 4 has a 5.7-inch display. Now, don't get me wrong, these are both absolutely massive displays, but the phone size is a bigger part of the picture. As I mentioned before as well, the bezels on the G3 are much thinner, resulting in a much more manageable size overall. I have no issues using the G3 one-handed, even if it's in a case, and I don't exactly have huge hands like some other YouTubers we know. The Note 4, on the other hand, really pushes the limit of what I can and cannot use. It's really big and doesn't apologize for it. If you like that, that's your opinion, but personally, it's just a little bit too big for my tastes. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you guys want to see 5 reasons why the Galaxy Note 4 is better than the LG G3, check out the first link down in the description for that. Also, be sure to subscribe here to catch our video review of the Galaxy Note 4, which is coming soon. If you want to know more about either phone, our reviews are both linked down in the description and on our website. Our LG G3 video review is also here on our YouTube channel, so go ahead and check that out as well. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you liked it, please give it a like and leave a comment with the questions you have, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.